How is it going, you lovely lot? It's episode number 61 of Tokyo Rising, and we are in mid-May. We are, well, a third of the way through the season already, and I felt like now is the time to come back. Yes, we are top of the table. Things have not been plain sailing, but we're still in a very good spot. 3 games coming up today, though. Could be pretty good tests. We have Kashima Antlers in 16th, Cerezo Osaka in 9th, and then Vegalta, who are currently in 3rd to end the year. As you can see, looking at the top of the table, it is very, very close. We have a game in hand on a fair few teams, but if you thought we were going to run away with it, we're not running away with it. Of course, last episode, it was mid-February. It's now mid-May. There is 3 months of Football Manager to catch you up on. Let's run the intro and get straight into things, shall we? Yes, folks, I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. Welcome back and happy Wednesday. Let's catch you up. There's been Football Manager played and plenty of football to boot. You can see here, looking at our start to the year, it was blooming good. We had 4 bounces on the league in a row, starting off, of course, with the V Varum result last episode. Then a tough game against Yokohama F. Marinos ended 2-1. A late Honda goal there was nice. Urawa Reds then away. Now, this is an interesting game. And the reason I say that is because Urawa Reds now are one of the best teams in the division. They are currently the team that could catch us if they play their games in hand. But this demolition here hurt their goal difference. We were lethal from set pieces. Nemo with 2 free kicks that kind of resulted in goals, albeit the first one indirectly. Tachibana then marched down the right-hand side and put it on Honda's head. And while look, Manga from corners was a threat. Kamiyama near post whipped it in. Manga nodded it in. And of course, he would add another. Kamiyama again on that right foot. Manga more on the near post this time. 5 goals in quick succession. This was probably the best result of the season so far. We followed it up with another emphatic win against newly promoted Ryukyu, but after that we had to take on Jubilo. Of course, Jubilo were our big rivals last year at the top of J1, so this was a massive game and it didn't quite go to plan. Yeah, look, we lost 2-1. They absolutely... Well, I was going to say they demolished us. They didn't demolish us, but simply put, we weren't good enough here. And from a 2-1 defeat against the team that finished 2nd last year to the team that finished 3rd away from home, where it finished 4-4. Looks like a good result in isolation, but when you know we were 4-2 up at one point in the second half, it's hard not to look at this as a little bit of a bottle. Look, there were some good performances in here. Takagi and Sasaki with the all-important goals. You may notice with the team there was a fair amount of rotation going on here, just part of trying to keep players fit, because to start the year, the schedule was rather busy. And when I say the schedule's busy, I'm going to elaborate on what I mean right after I show you the defeats that came courtesy of this goal here. They scored a Hime in the 88th minute. We lost 1-0. Mention the fact we drew against Grampus. Doesn't really tell the whole story. I had loads of players on international break. I actually have a save game from before the Grampus game to show you the state of my squad. I know what you're thinking. Jack is just an excuse. You always have players on international duty. You've just got to deal with it. Look, this is my time machine time capsule of before the Grampus game. This was the state of our first team, sorted by ability. Look how many players were on international duty. This is why we've not won 2 of the games that we've played, or at least that's the excuse I'm going to give, especially because when we look at Grampus's squad here, actually, you know what, they were missing some players too, but that's not the point. Anyway, all of that to say that 2 games where we failed to win without a full strength 11 because the international kind of break was frustrating. But the good news is we did bounce back through the rest of April and May with some largely good results. 3-0 against Sanfrecce Hiroshima was nice. Gamba Osaka and Matsumoto Yamaga dispatched, but sadly, we couldn't keep clean sheets. A 1-1 draw against Zelvia, not exactly the best result in the world. And when you look at the overall balance of play, I think on another day we probably do win this game. But nevertheless, you know what? We avoided defeat. Juve with the all-important goal at centre-back. And then after that, 2 games against Albrechts and Belmare, 2 of the weaker teams, I think, at least on paper in the division, both struggling a little bit in the bottom half. 2 convincing wins by 4 goal margins. Our goal difference is plus 26. Like I already mentioned, Urawa Reds are already 3 points behind us with a game in hand on us and 2 games in hand on everyone else. Whilst we are top of the table, I'll tell you what, it's blooming close behind us, isn't it? And that is why today's games really matter, and it's why I thought we'd come back for a triple header. Antlers and Cerezo are not going to be easy, and then Vegalta, currently up in third. A little bit of a surprise package. Their media prediction was 18th. Not expecting that to be a simple game. Now, the good news is when it comes to the team to start the year, we've had a very, very good start where it's been a bit of a team effort. We've not been too reliant on any individual player to get the goals, although I will point at our two centre-backs having 8 goals between them. The whole method, I suppose, of signing tall players to hopefully tower over slightly smaller players in Asia seems to be working. Look, Manga, with his 185cm height and 14 jumping reach, is doing work. Elsewhere, Tabit is our top goal scorer, or at least he leads the top goal scorer charts versus people tied with him because he's played fewer games. On deadline day, I rejected a bid of £4 million for this man, which I'm hoping I'm not going to live to regret, but when you look at his performances, I feel like selling him for £4 million to Frontale would have been a mistake. On top of that, something that I've not really mentioned enough, he's homegrown at club. That is going to be vital with our Champions League campaign kicking off in a few months' time. So yeah, £4 million, I did actually accept it, and I got to that point where I had to confirm or deny the transfer. I did it and I but I decided to keep him around. Let me know what you think of that one. But just in general, the club is in a really healthy position. Our finances are super good. We're not losing too much money month on month. And you might have actually caught it here when we look at average attendances across these games. It's been very good. In fact, our win against F Marinos, 19,923 fans turned up. That is a club record. And that is not actually a million miles away from our overall capacity. So I'm going to consider that a very positive sign. The club's building up a bit of reputation, a bit of momentum. Now it's time to carry on that momentum on the pitch. We've won our last couple of games. We've been in some decent form. Antlers have got a load of players missing. We've not got too many by comparison. And I will say I'm sorry to away day fans. We've done a few away days over the last few matches in episodes. With there being 3 matches today, we are going to miss out today. Have been looking at the YouTube analytics. Away days, I don't want to say it too loudly, people are getting a bit bored of them. So if you are still enjoying them, complain. If you're kind of happy to skip away days for more matches, also let me know that down in the comments. I do like to know what the most engaged viewers amongst you think on that. Anyway, in terms of the team for today's game, I think this is the team I'm going to go with. Delacorte has been coming back from injury, but he's been in a decent run of games. I just feel like Hirao, I need to give some game time to. When we've given him moments in live commentaries, he's played well. So the left back earns his spot. There is going to be a little bit of rotation needed. Elsewhere, you can see Cardano slotting in at defensive midfielder, already competent in this position. He has picked it up really quickly, the club record transfer. So he's going to be in the defensive mid position. In the final third, we're at full strength. Like I said, there has been a few players away on international duty, been a few injuries to contend with as well, but at least right now, the team is looking in a really good spot. Okay, they are playing a 4-2-3-1. Got to be a little bit wary of that, but hopefully Cardano is going to be able to shut down Atomo for them. And well, we might have an early set piece. 7 minutes into this game, Kamiyama has been getting lots of assists from corners. Could he get one from an indirect free kick here? Tell you what, the game is really raising my expectation by making us wait a while. He kicks it to Honda. His shot's blocked, it falls to Nemo. You know what? The wait was worth it. We break the deadlock inside the first 10 minutes. Kamiyama's initial ball into Honda was an interesting thing. It deflected to Nemo, keeper caught off-sighted and out of position. A really good finish, actually, by the striker. If you were thinking after that goal that suddenly the floodgates were going to open, there was going to be a load of chances, hasn't quite played out like that. We're already coming up to the half-an-hour mark here. 2 shots on target for us, still 0 for them. We're not having quite as much the ball as I would like, and we are picking up a fair few buckings, but you know what? I'm going to trust the players to remain disciplined as suddenly we have a corner to deal with. They have been a weapon in our arsenal this year, corners. Scares me a little bit when we have them against us. And, well, look at the timer. Look at the time. Look at it flying by. 3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half is just going to come and go. 1-0 at the break. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy. I want them fired up. A few players like Taba, I think, could play better. Little bit paranoid about all the bookings, if I'm being honest. I might take off those players booked early on in this half as well. The game is going to continue as the first ended with a set piece for them. It's played in behind, it's scored, and Gatayama scores for Kashima Antlers. I want to say it's against a run of play, but to be honest, it's really not. It's a free kick from deep. Our defenders all hold the line. They've got like 4 players lined up in the box ready to take it. Gatayama's effort was good. Nakano got nowhere near it. And you know what? I've seen enough. I'm not going to change up the system. I'm not going to throw everything away right now, but I feel like bringing in Sasaki out on the right, on the left-hand side to play. I'm going to bring in Delacorte and play him at left centre-back here. No, he's been our kind of left-back option for a little while, but this guy's still a very good centre-back for us. Elsewhere in the team, Tachibana at right back's booked. Sakaki, on you come. Give a team talk as well. I trust you to make the difference. You know I'm try-harding in a game when team talks are coming out for players being subbed on. I've shouted some words of encouragement as well. Most players reacting positively there. I'm still looking at Tabber on his 6.5 rating, thinking, mate, sort it out. Get things together. As well, there's 20 minutes left. It's been a cagey game. It's been a nervy game. Since we got that early goal, it's safe to say we've not exactly been a dominant force like you might come to expect in this kind of game. That said, we do have the possession right now, and when we have the ball, we are a dangerous team. Della Corte, fresh off the bench to Yamazaki, the roaming playmaker, coming deep, playing it wide. Kamiyama, dispossessed, dinked in behind, but Sakaki, subbed on at right back, is going to mop up the pieces. Juff, all the way back to Nakano. I'll tell you what, Kashima Antlers, not very keen to press us, are they here? They are sat deep. We've got to break them down. Could we break them down? Oh my word. That is a disgusting tackle by Park Kyu-hyun. I mean, that is disgraceful. Honda, for them, has been subbed off. Is our player okay? Yamazaki's just been cut in half like a tree. I mean, now they're down a man. With 20 minutes left, there's pressure on us to get the winner. And that, you know what? I wasn't expecting it to come like that. Sasaki, I've subbed him off on at left attacking mid. Back in J2, he was one of our main strikers. Had all kinds of injury issues last year, didn't he? But I'll tell you what, that's a bloody finish, isn't it? Kodono, Sasaki just hammers it into the top corner. And suddenly, a game that looked like it was going to be a hard-fought affair, we get a goal ahead. They're down a man as well. I'm suddenly feeling like we should be getting over the line here. Going to bring in some fresh legs in the midfield. Kataoka is going to come in at roaming playmaker. Still yet to put in a great performance, to be honest, on the pitch. But training-wise, he's developing. And elsewhere, Nemo is going to move... Well, I was going to say I'm going to move him across. You know what? I'm not. I'm going to keep Kibe here as the pressing forward. Kibe, I feel like, has loads of potential to fulfill. I need to give him more opportunities. You know what? He's got stamina. He can run. He'll be a good pressing forward, right? Saito, for them on the far side, is bringing it forward here. I've made all these changes and been all happy, and for a moment, I thought I was going to start to panic. That shot, a little bit wayward. Sakaki at right back. Does look a little bit isolated here, but he's going to pick out Kataoka, Kodono, Sasaki. He's already got one, I'll tell you what. He's gone and got a double. Why was he not starting the game, I hear you ask? Honda's usually better. That's my defence. If I'm not mistaken, Sasaki actually has a really good goal-scoring record this year when we've called upon him, but with the fierce competition at striker, it's just hard to find a spot for him. But his finishing in this game is certainly going to give me food for thought with 2 more matches in today's episode. Safe to say the subs have made a difference in this game. 5 minutes added to time at the end of things is just going to come and go here. Really big, important win, if I might say so myself. Maybe a little bit of fortune about the sending off. Maybe a bit of fortune about the fact that Sasaki just came on and made magic happen. The number 22, age 22, getting 2 goals today. 2 is a magic number or something. I don't know. It's a weird coincidence, isn't it? That's a good win. Players are delighted with that. That's a great performance, to be fair, against Kashima Antlers, who are a very good team. Vegalta, who we play in our last game today, have now moved up to second all of a sudden. Looking at results elsewhere, Ehime were second. They could only draw against Sanfrecce Hiroshima, who are down at the bottom. So that's a massive defeat for them. Sanfrecce, by the way, currently, maybe they're not anymore. They were in administration. They were in administration. They are still in administration. They failed a tycoon takeover. Now they've run out of money. I kind of feel bad for them. They're bottom of the league, but at least they got a point there. Anyway, as for us, we've got Cerezo Osaka up next in 7 days' time, and then Vegalta is going to be a midweek game following that. 2 big games coming up. Vegalta suddenly in second feels scary. Cerezo have actually dropped down a little bit down to 12th, but I've got to expect them to still be stiff opposition. Let's try and get another result. Let's hope that this game coming up, I don't have to rely on the sub to get goals for us. Also, the Under-20s World Cup's going on. Got loads of players playing it. That's fun. And Japan won. Things you love to see. I'm going to give Sasaki some praise. I'm going to rest up the players. Don't go anywhere. Game number 2 of 3 coming right up. You know what? By Tokyo 23 standards, I've had a very quiet week there. So you know what? We can get straight into this game. Nothing's happened. There's no new injuries. There are some suspensions. So I'm not going to pretend it's all sunshine and rainbows. Look, Manga, Tachibana, both out the team. It means that Dalla Corte, who ended the last game at centre-back, is going to start this game at centre-back. And elsewhere, Mitsuhashi's back at right-back. He's still playing games for us. He's still playing quite a lot for us. Should I be concerned? Maybe, but he's doing quite well. Now, the games we've got coming up today, this probably is the one that pre-game I would have said, yeah, that's the winnable one. They are a firmly mid-table team. We're playing them at home. We're in some great form, near enough full strength. We should be fine. I do feel like the shape that Cerezo Osaka are playing with kind of the defensive mid and two centre mids can sometimes be a bit of a kryptonite to our system. Maybe limits the space that our pressing forward has to drop into, and also means that for the roaming playmaker, it's just not quite as much space for them to operate in. That said, hopefully we can still find some gaps in their team as well. We look to probe at the edge of the box. Speaking of which, right as we try and pick out the roaming playmaker, we lose the ball. That said, we've won it back nicely here. And now let's reset it back around the back. Kadono, Taba, Yamazaki. This is nice. The dink to Nemo. The volley. It's offside. It was one of my favourite goals I've ever seen scored in Football Manager, and it's been taken away from me. The flag's gone up. I know it's offside. I know it's not going to count. Can we discuss this anyway? Can we just pretend it was a real goal? Look at this. The dink by Yamazaki. I mean, Nemo has gone far too early here, but the volley into the top corner. Oh, it was stupendous. I'm so sad. You can see here, they're taking their goal kick. Look how high we are pressing here. We are trying to smother them and hope that they give away the ball, trying to play it out here as well. They may undo themselves here. They've gifted the ball to Honda. The power of the Mohawk is going to power him towards the byline. Taba's there. Nemo's there. That one will not be ruled out. It's 1-0, finally. I say fine. We don't have that many chances, but it just feels like after that last goal, we should have had a goal. Now we do get that goal. Bit of fortune perhaps about how he won the ball high up the pitch. Honda ran nicely. Taba, I'm not sure if he's intentionally dummied this or if he's just had a Football Manager moment, but either way, the ball's made it through. It's found its way to Nemo, and he's tucked it away. Harao actually at left back has picked up a knock here. I don't really want to risk him today. You know what? I'm going to bring in Sakaguchi. Sakaguchi, once upon a time a mainstay at centre-back for us. In recent years, just a useful squad player. But we'll move Delacorte to left back. Sakaguchi will play right centre back. Juff has an okay left foot, so we'll play him at left centre back as part of a little shuffle here. Really don't want to lose Hirao to an injury. The left back's been very good. Much like the last game, not been a classic. You know, at the end of last year, I think I got conditioned to just have the floodgates opened once we scored one. It's not exactly materialised in this game, although if we could get a goal in the 90 seconds that remain, that would definitely make the team talk a little easier at half-time. Delacorte at left-back, drills it across. Nemo is there. That's another one that's going to count. It's his 11th goal of the year. He would have had a hat-trick if that goal earlier hadn't been ruled out. He's still on for a hat-trick with 45 minutes to try and make it happen. Yamazaki to Delacorte, slotting back out wide at left back and looking like an inspired choice. Great little ball across, players queuing up in the middle, 2-0. Nice and simple team talk here. Lads, you're doing brilliantly. More of the same, please. Throw in deep in their own half, which is going to go to Nagakura. I thought we might be able to win the ball high up the pitch. All of a sudden, I'm fearing them unlocking us as we press high, although with forcing them long like that and the ball going straight to Sakaguchi, need I not worry. Yamazaki at roaming playmaker, drifting wide. Kamiyama, the right winger, tucks inside really nicely. Sadly, on that occasion, it's not worked out. And suddenly, well, Juve has played on Suzuki, who definitely should have done a better finish at the end of it. Did Nakano save that? Apologies to our goalkeeper. I've not given him his credit there. We've still got a corner to deal with. Gonna get it dealt with, though. Not exactly the ideal start to the second half, but a third goal here would help me relax. Ball is floated in, Sakaguchi's under it, falls to Nemo, he's on for the hat-trick, he plays it to Delacorte, who has an assist already. Honda shoots once, shoots twice, forces it in at the second time of asking. 7 goals for the season for him. 3-0 here. For now, with 25 minutes left of this game, probably should be making some changes. We're 3 goals to the good. We know we've got a game in a midweek fixture, so I should rest up the players here. Part of me wants to get Nemo his hat-trick. Part of me is now paranoid he's picked up a knock. Yamazaki, Juff. Regardless of what happens here from this highlight, I'm going to make some changes in anticipation of the Vegalta match. Of course, if they did now get a goal back, I'll start to panic and feel like I can't make the same sweeping changes I've got cooking up in my mind. Then again, are they going to score? Nemo's on for the hat-trick. He doesn't get it. Am I about to sub him off? All I'm going to say is he's got an injury and I don't like it. Sasaki was great last game. Let's bring him on through the middle in this one here. Who else do I want to rest the legs of? Delacorte's been really good. You know what? I'm going to give him a rest. Why not? The left back could be important for us. Elsewhere in the team, Kamiyama at right mid's been poor today. We'll take him off. I'm going to bring in Miyake here. You might remember Miyake. Well, you might not remember him, actually. We signed him at the end of last year on a pre-contract. He was that player who I wanted to sign in the summer deadline day kind of shenanigans, and then the transfer fell through because they didn't find a replacement. He now has a face. Look how beautiful he looks. He's going to be playing for us out on the right-hand side here. I like the look of this guy. I want to give him minutes. I do technically have one more sub. I feel like I should probably just save it for now. There's still 20 minutes left here. And having made the changes, there's immediately a new highlight. Is something magical about to happen? I'm going to choose to believe so. I might be wrong. I think it's Miyake at right winger. First debut today in a live commentary. Look how big he is in the match engine. He is massive. He's run straight into danger there and given away the ball. But he's still great. Don't let that distract you from the fact he's taller than everyone else. Tabba, by the way, up top, not the tallest of players, struggling to win the ball that was lumped forward to him there. He's been quiet today. Don't want to throw him under the bus, but I rejected £4 million for him, and right now, it feels like he's been a bit of a passenger in today's episode. Is that a controversial statement to usher? Maybe. Knowing my luck, he'll probably now score. Miyake, on off the bench, gives it to... Of course. It's 4-0. I've made that happen. We've been very, very good in this game, and to be honest, it's all been on the wide players, Honda and Miyake, in this instance, kind of making stuff happen for us. There's so much space, it feels like, in the wider areas. Their wide attacking midfielders are not really tracking the runs of our wing-backs, and it's allowing us to get these double-ups, which, well, have absolutely punished Osaka in this game here. It's 4-0. It could get worse. There could be misery compilers still incoming as Honda lays it to Yamazaki, Miyake, Sasaki, or Sakaki. God, the Sakaki nightmare continues. Sasaki scored. I've got that one right, at least. You know when I think a game is wrapped up in an episode, because I just stop showing you the replays of the goals. I feel like ever since we got 3 goals up, the result in this game has kind of felt like a foregone conclusion. They've not been pretty goals today. It's been a lot of fizzed-in crosses at ground level, but with that space I mentioned in the wide areas where we look good, finally Cerezo Osaka have a shot on goal against us that was shown in a replay. It was absolutely awful, and I think it mars what, for, well, Osaka's kind of point of view, is just an awful game. 5-0 this one's finished. Their goalkeeper was on a 5.7 rating. Are we the baddies? Probably. I don't care. It's a really, really good result for us. You can see Vegalta have slipped up. They lost 4-1 to Vissel Kobe. Meanwhile, Antlers, who we beat just last game, have now suddenly moved up to second. Uwara Reds, I mentioned their games in hand. They drew earlier on in the previous weekend. They've still managed to win here, so they are going to be a threat. Vegalta, though, I don't know, they've just lost 4-1 against Vissel Kobe. Are they there for the taking? We have them next. Nemo's out for 5 weeks. Okay, you know what? It's a good job I took him off when I did, but he is going to be missing for this next game. And based on the fact that so far in today's episode, he's got 3 goals in 2 games, that's not ideal. Harao is also out for 2 weeks. So yeah, I mentioned no injuries before the last game during that week period. We've now got a few in quick succession. Miyake, by the way, man of the match in that game there with 2 assists on off the bench. The 20-year-old looked great. We have Vegalta in 4 days. We are going to be without our top goal scorer, our main man, the head honcho in Nemo. I need Tabba to stand up and be counted. He's been poor in his last 5. You know what? I'm going to criticise his form. Maybe that'll make him score in a moment. Let's see if it does. Don't go anywhere. 3rd and final game coming up. It's 1st versus 3rd. Arguably the big one. Do you have bogey teams in Football Manager? It turns out that Vegalta are our bogey team, and I had no idea they were our bogey team. I've never beaten this team. Just to recap, their media prediction is 18th. They are a newly promoted team back to J1 in this universe, having been a bit of a yo-yo side. They're newly promoted. They're up in 3rd. Their pre-season prediction had them, well, in 15th. And yet, they're bloody good. I mean, they're trying to do what we did last year. We need to put a stop to this. We're going to have to do it, though, without Nemo. Top goal scorer, Nemo. We'll say, 2nd top goal scorer in the league, Sasaki, does now get to start. So that's a thing. Speaking of which, this is the team for our upcoming game. Like I mentioned, Sasaki is coming in at pressing forward. Tabba, who's been poor lately, is going to shift across and play as an advance forward at right striker. In terms of the rest of the team, Manga's back in the team. Have noticed here that I have currently not got Juve in the starting 11. I need to have Juve in the starting 11. He's been too good to drop, I feel like, so far this year. 7.21 rating for him. By comparison, Nakamura, who to be fair has been playing at defensive mid and doing okay, just can't compete. Kondono almost has learnt now to play defensive mid, has stolen his spot in the team. and I do feel a bit bad about it. I still do think there's a world where if Juve or Manga had a poor enough form, Kidono does play centre-back, and Nakamura does come into the team to play a defensive midfielder. That day is just not today. Anyway, I did rest up the players going into this game, so we should be in a good little spot as we take on Vegalta, who are playing a really, really defensive system right immediately here. I don't mean to be try-hardy. There is no point in me having the pass into space instruction on, which I sometimes put on. We just don't need it in this game here because there is no space to operate in. Look how many players they've got back. That is defensive nightmare fuel. I say defensive nightmare fuel. It's more offensive nightmare, defensive delight. We're going to have to try and break them down. Cardano, Honda. Dalla Corte was on the overlap. Oh my word, it's been gifted to us. Tabas scored. I feel I shouldn't celebrate it, but suck it, Vegalta. That's what you get for beating me in the last 3 games we've played against one another. The goalkeeping there, let's be honest. I want to blame the goalkeeper. No, the goalkeeping there is not the goalkeeper's fault. It's all on Wally's son. What a Wally son. That's an awful ball. Tabba scores. Should explain for the non-English people. A Wally is someone who's stupid. So Wallyson by name. Wallyson by nature? Kind of. This guy's awful, isn't he? I mean, so unsurprisingly, having got the lead in this game, we're now struggling to break them down. We maybe have a chance here as Tachibana puts it in, but so far Vegalta are holding up firm. We're having more of the ball than them, but sadly, just not crafting enough yet. With 7 players behind the ball at all times, it's going to be difficult, I think, to break them down, but Cardano maybe can make something happen here. What a ball that is. Tabba has had one of the worst efforts on goal I've seen all day today with that effort there. That is awful. How has he missed it? That is a chance. And I don't know how often chances are going to come about in this game here. If another one falls his way, he's really got to take it. Tachibana is going to be looking to craft out one such opportunity here. Ball's in. Honda doesn't win his header, which is a sentence I don't feel like I say very often. The amount of goals Honda gets out on the left-hand side, back post headers, is kind of silly. I'm saying that like it could still happen here. Kamiyama at right midfielder. Okay, I'm not going to celebrate that one. If I'm the Vegalta manager, I feel like I'm being football managered. That is a cross by Kamiyama that is deflected. The goalkeeper then is just panicked. I don't know if it's hit the goalkeeper or hit the post. Either way, it's fallen to Tabba and he scores. He's now got 2 goals after I warned him about his form. I feel like both the goals he should have scored every day of the week. And I kind of feel bad celebrating both of them. And yet now, suddenly, the striker who's been out of form, who I said needs to step up with Nemo injured, he's on for a hat-trick and we could have a chance here. Honda's through, should go on his own, did go on his own, and maybe he shouldn't have. We've had multiple chances that we've fluffed in front of goal now. Dalla Corte to Honda, right. Can we get the ball in the mixer? Can we make something happen here? Cardano, Yamazaki, Dalla Corte should switch it, does switch it. Tachibana, Kamiyama. I feel like that was a cross that nearly went in. Was that really the highlight? You know what? I don't think it was. I think there is more to this tale than what we've just seen. Well, the amount of players they've got back out off the ball movement to get opportunities has to be superb. I'll tell you what, it is superb there. And our finishing is cack. I'm actually getting annoyed. I know the XG says 1.65 in the top left corner. Being real for a moment, there's been 3 chances in this game where our strikers have got one-on-one, or at least into a shooting opportunity, and on all 3 occasions, they've just completely missed the target. But for Vegalta completely shooting themselves in the foot, this could have been a really frustrating first half. They're kind of mess-ups of what have kept us ahead in this game. That said, I do feel like we need to start taking some of these opportunities a little better. Starting now, please, football manager. Tachibana, Yamazaki, Sasaki, Tabba, inbound for the hat-trick. The keeper saved it. I mean, we do still have the resulting corner. Kamiyama's here. Look for Manga's head. Can't find it. You see what I did there? Look for Manga, because Manga's name is Look Manga. I thought it was good, but please don't dislike the video. Okay, half-time in this game, 2 minutes of added time flew by, and to be honest, I think the XG story tells it all. They have done literally nothing. They've had a shot on target that had an XG of 0. Go figure. I don't know. How does that happen? I decided not to get shouty with the players there and instead just kind of praise them blindly, because I do feel like if we play the exact same as we did in that first half, in the second half, chances will come, goals will come. But at 2 goals up, I suppose the most important thing now is just to remain firm at the back. And when you look at the defensive ratings in this game, we are doing exactly that. 20 minutes into the second half, nothing is happening. I'm going to make some changes. You know what? I am going to bring Sasaki out onto the left-hand side. He got 2 goals from there previously. We're then going to bring in Takagi at pressing forward. He's been complaining about a lack of first-team football. Elsewhere in the team, Kamiyama's been poor. Ito, he's been at the Under-20s World Cup. They did get knocked out early, Japan. Let's not question it. The 18-year-old is going to come in and show us what he can do out in the wide areas. Okay, 2 changes made, 2 new fresh legs in the final third. I'm hoping that's going to be enough to unlock the defence of Vegalta at least once more. Like I said, from a defensive point of view, this is a fantastic performance. I thought at some point Vegalta would actually go on the attack in this game, given the fact they're 2 goals down. They are still playing the exact same defensive formation, and it really has ruined this game of football, hasn't it? There's 3 minutes of added time. No highlights in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. That is tragic. I mean, good ratings for our players is nothing else. Going to praise the players. It's a great win. It puts us further ahead at the top of the table. We're now 6 points clear with a game in hand on Ehime. And well, there were 3 difficult games today. We've navigated them all. Dare I say it? Fairly convincingly. I say that with a near grimace because I almost feel like I'm tempting fate, but we really have done well today. Tabba, you've been superb too. At this point now, I feel like I'm just counting down the minutes, the moments till we get the Champions League draw going, because I feel like that's the next big thing to look for, especially when you look at how good we've been in J1 lately. Now, in terms of next episode, we've actually got a lot of football in the next couple of, well, I was going to say the next couple of months. Actually, there's a break in July, but August is going to be rammed, and then the Champions League is probably going to have its draw sometime soon. So in all honesty, I'm not sure when I'm going to come back. We'll see what's happening in the league. We'll see if we continue to pull away. It might be that full focus goes on cup competitions and stuff, because if you look at things here, we are still in the Empress Cup, albeit we've not yet even played the first round. Let's not get too carried away just yet. Anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you have, as always, go down below, leave a like. Let me know what you think. Would you rather have more matches or more away days? I'm curious to know what the comment section say. Like I said, I can look at some of the analytics. They are a little bit revealing, but it's always good to hear from you guys directly. Have your say, and I'll see you tomorrow for more. Thank you for watching. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.